Ha 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 ha. Yo, hey, everyone, raise your hand if you're in the room and your team 3-0. I see all three of y'all. Yo, what up? Good morning, y'all. It is the Hoop Show with your boy JR. What is juice this morning? I am so happy that you guys have gotten to follow us along so far with the building of this show, which is built to this moment where we are going to be trying to myth bust the league. We're almost a week into officially the NBA season, and already sparks are flying, people are falling, bodies everywhere. It is absolutely insane. And your favorite team might not be 3-0 right now. Just want to throw that out there. Shade to the league. What's up, LeBron James? Year 22, triple-double last night. It is, again, the TSA Hoop Show. Appreciate you guys all tuning in this morning at 7:30 in the morning, San Diego Pacific Standard Time. Yeah. Wow. Thank you guys for actually listening and watching in. That's right. We're also on Spotify. We're going to get to that a little bit later. Show some appreciation to the league for giving us the entertainment that builds the show as it is today. We got some guests this morning. We got some TSA OGs, OTB OGs on the show this morning. We getting into it this morning. We talking some ish. Is about to be crazy. But before we get into that, just want to thank our sponsors, our partners, the Drafters app, where you can go in and either draft your favorite player, play your fantasy bets, or do whatever it is you like to do with the NBA. Just go into the Drafters app. You can download it for Android and Apple. You can get your initial deposit matched up to $100 if you enter the code TSA Bets up to $100. That's right. For your $100, you get that extra $100 smacked on, and you too can bet on the Lakers being 3-0. Okay, so last week we kicked off this show by saying, hey, we just ended the WNBA. We got into the NBA. Told you guys it was going to be fire. We told you guys to get ready. We warned you guys every single week. And I don't think you guys bring your flame retardant. I don't think you got your fire suits. I don't think you got your sunglasses. And y'all think that we just Kid Icarus flying too close to the sun, but it is getting hot in here. The league is on its head. We got former NBA champions not doing what they're supposed to do, sitting there at the bottom of the league. We got NBA champions coming back with that fire, coming back on that revenge tour. It is insane right now. We're talking about it all this week. And I got guests today. Deontay and Rico, you want to talk about OTB throwback, fellas? Get your ass up here. Get on up here, man.
Oh, you been on a bender this morning. I like that though.
Good morning. By the way, that's I got 3 shots of caffeine. Shout out to the Bucks on the corner. You know how it is. Go get that white. Make boy right. Corner boy coffee. That's what they need to call it right now. Corner boy coffee.
You might need to trademark that.
Oh my gosh, y'all! What the hell is going on? I mean, Deontay, we already know what's going on with y'all. Y'all just shooting the lights out over there in Boston. Period. Got 2 of the best 5 players in the league right now. I cannot argue against Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum being 2 of the best 5 players playing right now. The way that shots just seem to be falling so naturally for them. Got your head coach, just got your team clicking like they ain't never left. Like, oh no, that was last year's business. They taking care of business this time around. 3-0. There you go. And there he go. Yes. For those of you guys that are listening in or be listening to this later on Spotify, Deontay's got his championship level gear on, his Boston gear on. On the other side, we got Rico with his King Business. Okay, got his King Business sweatshirt on. I mean, I'm rocking my Lakers hat, but I'm supposed to be neutral on the show. But I can't stay neutral when the league is on its head, fellas. I know you guys got the agenda. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and hold off on Lakers versus Boston and talking all that because that's everyone's timeline right now. Have y'all seen anything else besides those games so far? Anything?
I mean, we're probably gonna get into it later, but I'm looking at OKC right now. They be coming out looking fire. SGA is playing on an MVP type level, and Chet, hello. I tell you what, that game they played against the Nuggets the other night. I know Iggy wasn't too happy about it, but Chet was playing like a man possessed that night, crashing the boards, getting blocks, getting back on the offensive end, and kind of like getting repaid after getting said blocks and stuff. And I'm saying here like, OKC, I this the type of time y'all on this year. Okay, I see it. Y'all prepared to kind of take over the league. All right, I see how it is. So that's not too much of a surprise, but looking at just how Chet and the rest of the team with SGA and everybody else has been kind of playing so far, I'm like, they really seem to be having the league shaking in their boots at a certain point if they keep this up. Because like I said, they're an extremely, extremely young team who got a lot of different assets on that team ready to go. And then I've seen this all up and down my timeline as well. With the pick that they got some years back, I think it was in that Paul George trade. That pick potentially, being the Clippers pick, but it's going to be their pick. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but if they somehow magically just happen to appear at the end of this year, NBA champions, and then get the number one pick and get Cooper?
Cheating.
When's the last time we've seen something like that?
Cheating.
Like, if you're that high profile of a team, and then the following year you get a high pick, I'm thinking, what was it like?
Lakers. Lakers. Lakers were the last team to do it. Look, you can't. It's usually lucky when you do that, and I'm talking about like you holding a baby in one hand, you got 6 shots in your body, and you got the small ball, and you got to hit that last cup, and you calling game on beer pong, and then someone smacks your arm kind of magically, and the baby kind of wonky, and you just hit that John, and you outside, and the wing just says carry that ball from wherever you thought you was hitting to that cup. That's how far off the odds are of that happening, and they're playing without newly acquired Isaiah Hartenstein as well. So that's a big, like, if we were to equate it, and I keep saying we're going to get back to Boston, but we keep going back to Boston about this, it's the same as if Porzingis being out. It's a little bit different because Porzingis is the proverbial starter with his skill set, but you got Al Horford there filling in. But they're doing the things that need to be done at the position with Chet and at a high level without backup. Now, again, this is week 1. So, I'm probably one of the 10 humble Lakers fans and probably one of the few thousand NBA fans. It's like, y'all, chill. Good. All right. Let's wait for it to go in. But yeah, OKC right there. I'll throw one out at y'all. Charlotte. I put it up on the timeline the other day. I said that they were only gonna get 8 wins this season, and they kicked off saying, hold on, wait. They lost against Miami in a pretty contested contest, but fully healthy now. LaMelo's back. They got,
and he stayed healthy.
Yeah. See, and then Brandon Miller went out, and Brandon Miller was a guy that I thought that was going to be highly touted. He was the fill-in at Charlotte towards the end of the season when everyone else went out. Yeah, that's a big question. The whole league is like, can everybody stay healthy? Because last year it was, we're gonna try and make those 72 games, and then we're gonna have an off season. Like, we're not gonna practice, and now people are coming back, and we're gonna get into that aspect of players not being there in a minute. But Yeah, can they stay healthy? Charlotte, that first game, that was one I watched. Deontay, you got anything other than watching ring ceremonies and shiznit?
I want to talk about the Spurs Mavericks game that happened. I believe this was on a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
Yep.
Clay Thompson, right? He was. I thought that he was just going to be coming off the bench, but it turns out he was a starter.
Mm-hmm.
6 to 10 from 3 point range. I mean, are we gonna sit here and say that Clay is really washed, or does he fit well within this Mavericks scheme? Right. So, amen. I'm glad that he's providing veteran minutes because remember, this man is. I mean, he was one of the Splash Brothers for no reason, right? So,
Right.
and clearly he showed up and showed out in that first game of the season. So I think moving forward, I think he should. I mean, to be honest, I don't think I can see him coming off the bench unless if he just has a stretch of games where he's just shooting very poorly. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody's gonna take his starting position away. And
Right.
then I also want to talk about the Spurs side of things, right?
Mm.
I'm looking at Wembyama, right? He
Mm-hmm.
he basically he didn't have a good night. Basically shot 1 of 8 from 3 point range, and then I believe he was a 5 of 18, I believe. Which,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, he's still young, so he still has room to grow. But when you're that height, you mean to tell me that you can't get baskets in? Like you, like you basically hover over everybody, and with those shooting percentages coming from the field, it's just not. It just doesn't bode well.
Right.
I'm already seeing on my timeline that Chet Holmgren may be better than Wembanyama, and it's like, I
Oh,
think,
that's
yeah, I
nasty.
think
Oh,
right.
that's a debate right there.
That's
hmm
nasty. That's absolutely. First of all, one of them guys went to the Olympics.
hmm
Okay. Second of all, it's week one. But like I said, we chilling. You're not, and it's not. I can understand it's like a nice knee jerk reaction because we got a lot of things that we're doing here at TSA. We got the power rankings going on, we got player rankings going on, and it's on one side. I'll give it to y'all because even though it's only been 2 or 3 games, depending on which team we're talking about, because the scheduling is a little bit wonky. Um, got some games going on today to kind of even that whole thing out, and each game is 48 minutes. So you can get a lot from 48 minutes worth of time. I mean, y'all listen to this show for an hour, so let's get it. But on the other side, it's only 3 games, y'all. 79 more to go. We got an all-star break. We got the in-season tournament championships going. Man,
Oh
it's a
boy, I
long
already have
season.
my feelings about that, but we'll
Say
get to that in
it.
Oh man.
It's a long season, so I can't like. I'll give it a couple more weeks before we can start to say what the progression in year two, because year two progressions are absolutely killer for a lot of people. I can give you a whole entire list of players that either improved greatly or fell off in year two. But for right now, if we focus in on, you know, the last year's rookie of the year candidates, we gonna do it. I mean, of course, the league is gonna be focused on women young because for what about a good 7 to 8 years now, I saw this tweet, and every time I see something like this, it just becomes more and more true. The league is trying to move on from LeBron.
Hey,
And
look,
we're
after
trying
last night, I don't know how you do that because
you're trying to insert someone and just be like, look, water, cup, 2 hands, carry that some bitch, please. We cannot have this man in the 22nd year. And this is not me like touting LeBron. I've been defending, by the way, just a side note, been having to defend Bronny James Jr. and the 55th overall pick
oh
all
boy.
week for no damn reason. And I don't know why I'm doing that, but I just wanted to let y'all know I've been doing that. But I'm sure the league is getting tired of, they were like, listen, we need somebody else. we're probably going to have to make LeBron commissioner at this point in order to make him disqualified as a player, because there's no other way to you either got to make him commissioner or make him an owner. That's the only way you can kick him out the league. He's sitting there like, this is my couch now, and he ain't going nowhere. And we trying to insert Victor Wembanyama, we try to insert Jokic, we try to get Tatum at some point,
Luka.
and he had to
tried and failed miserably.
we had to refocus though, because he had to refocus so that way he can get a ring. Shout out to him, he did it. They did it. For a small minute they tried to do Embiid and Giannis out there telling jokes. Embiid not even showing up to work.
Can we talk about Philly for a second? Like, I just.
Oh boy! I already
No.
got my feelings about them.
Here's my thing about this. For one, you're starting off the season with two of your top players, arguably your top two players, depending on who you ask.
I don't know. Are we looking at they're not playing top player?
On this team specifically, not really, just on this team. let's
no. I just had to get.
Like, listen, excuse me. Hold on.
On this team, on the Sixers team. I mean, hell, you could probably argue Maxi's the best. I don't at this point. I don't even know. But you start out the season, first game of the year, both your top players, DMPs, going up against. I think they played the Bucks. Something like that.
They played the Bucks first game.
Opening game,
easy win. And then you got Embiid talking about before the season starts, like, I'm probably not going to be sitting here playing back to back. So I'm sitting here like, hello?
Ooh.
You said what? You're not going to be playing back? Okay, hold on. Here's my thing. You have a player in LeBron James who is in his 22nd year, age 40. And he just got done playing a back-to-back.
Mm-hmm.
Yet you are a recent MVP. And you talking about sitting here like how you are in this part of your career where you're probably not going to be playing back-to-backs yet. Mm-hmm. Lo and behold, when is the last time y'all team got past the second round? Yet you are supposed to be one of the top players in this league, and your team is depending on you to help bring them a championship back. I understand basketball is a team sport, but you are the focal point of this team. And yet you are sitting here saying, I don't know if I want to play it back-to-back. Here's the thing. I understand. The season is 82 games. It is a marathon. It is not a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
But lo and behold, if it comes down to tiebreakers for positioning, for seeding, and you needed a game on a back-to-back, and you decided, I'm going to sit this one out. Mm-hmm. I've seen Philly fans, whether it be football, basketball, whatever.
Oh, God.
I've seen Philly fans, and I see how they get. Oh. I'm not saying this is a possibility, but I'm sitting here just thinking in my mind, you got 41 games at home, 41 games on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Heaven forbid y'all are in a position where y'all are fighting for a play-in spot. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we don't know what the season's going to look like. And you miss out in that 7 to 10 range.
Contender? Well, I don't know.
And you got to go on a road to a Boston, to a New York, to a Milwaukee. And you sitting here telling me that you can't play back-to-back games and it costs y'all like a top 6 spot. Like that's not. I don't know. Like I look at Daryl Morey and I look at that front office. I'm sitting here like, bro, at what point does Philly get to the position where it's like, you know what? I don't want to say hit the reset button because I don't think they would do that with this team they got right now. But lo and behold, you got to start putting some feelers out there and saying, all right, what do we do for the future?
Damn, what are we not talking to trade? You were talking to trade. You talking about trading Joel Embiid?
I would
trade him. Why not?
Conversation came up last year. I'm not
going to trade him.
Again,
why not?
Go ahead,
Deontay. Speak on it.
See, I have tried telling y'all about this man, Joel Embiid, and the Sixers for years, man. This man, Joel Embiid, right? He's drafted in 2014, right? He works his way up to becoming one of the best centers in the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
He goes on to wins an MVP, right?
That's the process.
But I'm looking at his list, right? I'm looking at his resume, right? I don't see any conference finals appearances. No. I don't see any finals appearances, and yet they paid him all this money, I believe, to the tune of 3 years, 191 million.
Something like that. Yep.
And you mean to tell me that this man is literally sitting here and saying that, oh well, at this point in my career, I just don't feel like playing any back-to-back games. I gotta get healthy. I'm like,
Mm.
what are you talking about, sir? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
If you're at a position where your team needs you, right?
Yep.
What are you gonna do? Are you just gonna sit? Are you just gonna sit on the bench and just hope and pray for to get healthy? No. Like,
Sounds like
yes,
it.
I understand that injuries do have a concern in the league, especially with the rate that I'm seeing, right? But if you don't go out there and if you expect to be, fresh and health, no, it doesn't work like that. It
No,
doesn't
it
work like
doesn't. It really doesn't. And I can just tell y'all right now, just from experience and just from knowledge of on injuries and your joints, your muscles, everything, the body starts to adjust and heal itself in sports when being active. And yes, it's not to say that all Joel is doing is just sitting down. I mean, he's sitting down 4 games. They are getting him healthy specifically by doing training, got practices, because he's not missing practices. No reports on that. He's not missing out on shoot arounds or anything like that, but he's specifically missing games. And we've seen this sport wide, not just basketball, but football as well. Go ahead and put that up,
See,
sir.
this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, right? So I had created a tweet not too long ago. This was in the summer of 2023, right? This was after the Celtics literally bounced out the Sixers after the Sixers blew a
Yep.
3-2 lead against
Yep.
us, right?
Remember that.
Now, the original tweet was that Joel Embiid says that, I just want to win a championship. I don't know where it's going to be, whether it be in Philly or somewhere else. It's not easy, but every single day I work towards it.
Hey,
And then
was that the Jimmy
yep.
Butler team?
What's that?
Was that the team when Jimmy Butler was on, or was that
Um,
or was that
no,
because I know
because
Tobias Harris was on the team?
during this time, Jimmy Butler is with the Heat now.
Okay,
Oh,
Yes,
he's okay.
yes, Jimmy Butler did in fact was on the Sixers
okay,
for a few
That was back
seasons.
in what, 2018, 2019, I think, when Jimmy was there.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
okay. So, but nonetheless, and y'all make sure to go follow Deontay on X at Deontay Adams 01.
And
Let's see what he's talking about. Y'all just listening in.
and this is the tweet that I responded with. I told this man, you want to know how you win championships? Actually,
Show up.
be there for your team when it
Show
matters.
up.
The best ability that a player has is availability, right?
Yeah.
This man put up a measly 15 points in 38 minutes of
Yep.
an elimination game, right?
Yep.
Oh, but he was injured. He was okay, but he still played, right? If he was injured and if he wasn't 100%, then why is he out there, right? Why is he out there? I don't,
The
I don't,
the
I don't,
devil's
I don't get,
advocate.
I don't get the, I don't get the logic. I just don't get the mentality of Embiid. Like, yes, he's an athletically gifted player.
Yeah.
I understand
Yep.
that, but when you have a mentality like this, then
Mm,
I'm gonna question you on it. Like,
absolutely.
it's been 10 whole years since you've been in the league, and you mean to tell me you haven't made it past the second round? You haven't made it to the finals. Oh, but he did win an MVP, right? Even though Jokic
Mm,
was by far and away the better player.
better numbers. Yep.
Since people want to complain about, oh, well, Embiid's not getting MVP, the blah, blah, blah. And then they basically kind of forced it to give it to Embiid.
Yeah, they pulled that Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark nonsense on him.
It's
Oh
just
Lord.
it's just not there. The numbers are there for Jokic. I mean, not for
Yeah.
Embiid, but
Now,
hey, got an
now
MVP, right?
I,
Hey man,
I'm in line. I'm in line with the apology letter for Nikola Jokic for that year that he was robbed of that MVP.
he
Again,
was 100% blatantly robbed.
I was not going to tattoo it on my shoulder as I had previously promised, but I am in the line for with an apology letter for that season. So Iggy, while you're listening in the car with your fam, yes, I apologize. But to your point, and we're going to move on to the next part of the show today because we got some other stuff that we got to burn through today. Um, to the playability, the ability, availability. Only way that you get to understand where you're really at is by real reps. You know, you got to get in the game, even if it's for 5-10 minutes, whatever. Just get, even if you're out there just doing cardio. It's going to be the better thing for you. Now, he did come into camp 30 pounds lighter than he was from the Olympics. So, and you can see the progression as he got to the gold medal match for Team USA at that time for Joel Embiid. But the other side, the to be a devil's advocate, the each time that Philly gets eliminated and the onus being on Joel Embiid, him trying to take some sort of ownership of responsibility for Philly not going beyond where it should, was the fact that at the end of the day, the same thing was being said. He wasn't 100% for X series. So, you figure for 8 to 10 seasons of us showing up to the playoffs and us not getting to where we want to be with a player of his caliber, if the thing every single time is injuries, then maybe we just get the low hanging fruit and solve that issue. But we'll see how this goes as the season goes on. We got to get to another team here that is also being affected by the injury bug from the jump, and that's the LA Clippers.
I knew it. I knew it.
And again, we to segue from Joel Embiid to Kawhi Leonard.
I already knew
the very specific thing about the difference in between these two. Kawhi, two things. Kawhi's won a ring.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple.
Right?
Yep, multiple.
Well, he won one pre-injury, okay, pre-series of injuries, and
Toronto.
then he won the one in the midst of those. Okay.
Yeah.
So availability, right? But now you get this Clippers organization who invested in 2 out of the 3, which was heading their team. They didn't invest in the guy that showed up. They let him go. They invested in the proverbial backup who is somewhat healthy and available, but not as good in James Harden in himself. Is carrying the team right now. And then invested in a Kawhi Leonard player that win 100%. I hate putting these dots there. It's like asterisk there. It takes away from the ability of the player. But win 100%, when fully available, is absolutely top 10, top 5 at moments. Okay, because his ability to play both sides of the ball absolutely unmatched.
He's one of the best two-way players in the league. So 100%. I agree with you on that one, JR.
Period. But the way that this injury has affected this team, and again, he hasn't been healthy since last season. Okay, has not really played a game. Did not participate in the Olympics. He got sent home. That's how we got Derek White.
Mm-hmm.
There, we got we got the controversy of no Jaylen Brown being called up, and the Celtics napalm right now, laser eyes on the league. It's because of Kawhi. Thank Kawhi Leonard, okay, for the gas. Thank you, sir, for the gas for the season. We did not have a juggernaut. We did not have a sentinel coming to take out all the X-Men this season until Kawhi Leonard got named as the 15th man to this team and then got sent home for the same injury that he ain't been 100% with. And now they're saying he might not be available till December.
Which I don't know if you've been reading about that with that injury and stuff. Like, I think because of the whole issue with them, and I think one of the former trainers or whatnot is suing the Clippers. About that whole thing with
that's a whole separate. Oh man, that's a whole separate unpack right there. Because okay, so personally, here's what I'm thinking: tampering, all that stuff aside, everybody does it. Just the question is if you're going to get caught or not. Mm-hmm. That's just 100%. I mean, we all know Joel Embiid blatantly tampered on live air when when Paul George was sitting next to him during the NBA Finals, and they was sitting there, well, not collabing, when they were going to end up linking up anyway.
You not slick.
Like Joel, you need to study American social aspects and subtleties a little bit more. I think that you don't go out enough in Philly because the ability to read the room is completely lost upon you, sir. Talk too damn much. You talk too much, okay? Sitting there, and your boy Paul George sitting there looking all hot in the seat, and he's not hot because of the cameras. He's used to being under those. He's from LA, okay? You look him, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, tampering, and we're worried about. I'm not worried about the Clippers and tampering. I mean, if anyone comes and tries to mess with Steve Ballmer, he's going to send him to the wall. Makes you miss free throws. Hey, we got to take a break here real quick. We're going to get back to it. We're actually going to be talking a little bit of fantasy here. We're going to talk about our favorite teams. We're going to talk about some stuff coming up. We'll be right back with you in about 30 seconds.
Here we go.
All right. Bienvenidos, listeners, and welcome back. That was our quick break here. We are, if you're just listening in, this is the TSA Hoop Show with your boy JR. I got my guys with me. I got the squad with me. I got Deontay. I got Rico. You know what it is. We're running it back, talking a lot of the league. We're going to talk a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of bets here, stuff here. We're going to try to fit that in towards the end of the show. We'll see if we got some time. If not, we're going to get that to y'all after the show. Well, we really got to recap this last week because this is what you guys came for. Us being able to talk some mess about the league, try to figure out what the heck is going on. We got some questions and answers for y'all. I want to, real quick, say that Cleveland is also 3-0.
Quietly. Okay.
Cleveland is also 3-0. The league has them listed on top of the Boston Celtics. I'd have to look more into it as the reason why. It's probably some tiebreaker that's like 7,000 stats down the line. We know who the better team is, but that's where it's sitting at right now. And in fact, let's go ahead and break down where everyone's at in the league so far. Okay, so in the East, again, Cleveland and Boston at 3-0, Atlanta at 2-0. What's up, Trey? Treyway, Ice Trey. What's up? Orlando Magic just suffered their first defeat last night against the Miami Heat. They're sitting at 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks splitting them 1-1. Pacers 1-1. Heat earned their first win last night, 1-1. The Bucks 1-1. Chicago got a win, 2 losses, and then Toronto sitting at the 10 spot, also 1-2. Charlotte's 1-2, but somewhere down there we have the Philadelphia 76ers at 0-2. Now we know why they are 0-2. We know why.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's go ahead and throw this up for y'all so y'all can see this. Because want to make sure that y'all don't think that I'm hating or nothing like that. But we got Philly down there at 0-2. Wondering what is going on with Philly. But we know what's going on. It's injuries, people sitting out. You know, you got Paul George not available. You got Joel Embiid not trying to be available. You can't – I want to throw this out there. You can't not sit out and then say that you're going to sit out back-to-backs. Like, which one is it? Are you going to play and then not play, or are you going to not play at all?
I'm telling you, man, there's a reason why I don't take the media seriously when they try to – every year they put up the 76ers as a contender for the title. And stuff like this happens.
Insane.
Look
what's happening.
Look what's happening.
At this point, we're just going to have to call y'all insane. Okay, on the other side.
All right, here we go.
On the other side. There's some team in Los Angeles that's sitting at the top. We don't know who that is. They won 3 games. Oklahoma City Thunder 2-0. New Orleans Pelicans. And by the way, that second win they got against Portland Trailblazers team that's still trying to figure it out on a
Hey,
last
hey,
second
that
Zion
was a
Williams
game,
block.
by the way. If you didn't
That
watch it, I
was
caught highlights of it. That one was a game.
that was nasty. Bi with the game with the go ahead, and Zion with the defense, the key defense at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Golden State Warriors 2-0.
Hmm.
They had a 134 game to open their season. I'm just like,
Yeah, but that won't last long
I'm just
anyway.
listen,
Won't
man.
last.
They squeeze in that you know how you get that last little bit of soap at the end of your Dom bottle, and your mom sit there put a little bit of water in it, try to stretch that out. Golden State Warriors is 2-0 right now, y'all.
They dropping. They hold on for their life.
Now the next two teams, 5 and 6 spot, Phoenix Suns and Minnesota Timberwolves. Okay,
Hmm.
what do those two teams have in common?
Let's see. I'm seeing that they both are 2-1.
They both are two.
Uh-huh.
You know what that one is responsible for?
Bringing a deep. Oh.
I'm showing off the cap, y'all.
All right.
They're both against the team that's at the top of the West right now. Moving on, Memphis Grizzlies at 2-1, and everyone said, you know what? This team fully healthy. Everyone got their head on their shoulders. We need to be careful. They're playing Zach Edey, their rookie, a little bit. They're getting him into the rotation. You've seen a lot in the preseason. We're probably going to see a lot more of him next. John Moran is playing like he had never left, like he just misses basketball and completely appreciate it. So that team's sitting at 2-1. Dallas Mavericks 1-1. Interesting. San Antonio Spurs 1-1. Not as interesting because we knew that they were going to be good, especially with that addition of Harrison Barnes. So it got some more veteran leadership along with Chris Paul there. It's gonna be interesting. It's kind of weird to see him not in the Kings jersey, but I guess that's just gonna take some getting used to. Getting used to him not being in, not being in, not being in. He's moved around the league enough. Gonna start calling him Robert Horry soon enough. Clippers at 1-1 got their first win against a Denver team that we're if you guys tune in and you follow at the sports affiliation, you follow any of us on X, you get your you follow the or subscribe to the sports affiliation channel here on YouTube, you guys will get some information from our native Denverite, our perpetual Nuggets fan Ignacio, and he will break it down for you. He broke it down for us a little bit as to what's going on. And if you see the clip from the first couple of games from Nikola Jokic, Denver's looking a little sluggish right now, which is kind of weird to say the least. But the Clippers 1-1, Rockets 1-2. They're still trying to figure it out. Sacramento Kings again 0-2. They're a team that has it together, but they lost that big lead the other night against us, and it's just been big lead after big lead, just losing that. Different, know why they're 0-2. Portland is 0-2. They lost a close one, and they lost another one. And the Utah Jazz down there 0-2. Some teams not so surprising. Okay, you cannot say the Boston Celtics as the least surprising. You cannot say
we already knew. We
kind of knew that one.
You cannot say the Lakers as somewhat surprising. You guys get 28 other teams. Who's your biggest surprise, and who's the least surprising? Give you guys a second to think about that.
I kind of have an idea for most surprising, just because I'm a go with Minnesota, and I say that only because I wasn't necessarily sure how much better they would be doing once they traded Cat. Obviously, he's one of those guys that can kind of help stretch the floor. Obviously, you take that away, and it's just down to Rudy, and then, like I said, obviously Ant's a dog. We all know this. I was kind of curious how they were going to work out with, Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle. He's not the same type of volume scorer that, Cat is, obviously. He's more of
bull.
I want to say a bully ball type of dude.
Yep.
So like
Yep.
low post, him and Rudy down in the paint, you're kind of congesting it down there, so you don't necessarily give Ant a lot of space to work with in that sense. Like, not to say that Ant can't necessarily shoot. Like, say he's developing his 3-point shot, but like at that time, it's like you have to find a way to kind of get more out of the other guys as far as like
Yep.
spacing the floor and things like that.
Yep.
So that's kind of my surprise right now. Granted, like I said, it's like you said, it's early in the season. It's a lot left to play. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. But for me right now, I'm saying Minnesota is my most surprising team right now, as far as what I'm looking at. Least I'm gonna say Utah, obviously, because I honestly didn't have any expectations for them. There was a lot of trade talks with Lloyd in the offseason. Was he gonna get traded to Golden State? Was he gonna get moved somewhere else? It's at the third. They ended up coming up to an agreement on an extension with him. They're probably going to be a bottom feeder team for most of the year. At some point or another, I would imagine that you're going to, if you haven't already heard it, Walker Kessler is going to be getting in trade talks. He's a young guy. He's a big, who I would imagine somebody's going to be looking at him to get moved at some point well before the deadline, if not close to the deadline, depending on what the season looks like early on for Utah. But that's just kind of where I'm at with those two teams. And we'll see. Like I said, it may change right now, but that's where I'm sitting at. Not necessarily seeing anything out east, but those are just my two teams overall, most at least. Yeah.
Deontay, who you got?
All right. So with my excuse me. I think I'll start with my least surprising, and that team will have to belong to the Detroit Pistons, right? I mean, yeah, they in the offseason, yeah, they fired their head coach, and they I don't know what to call Detroit at this point.
Bring my homie Cade.
I don't know what to call Detroit at this point, because right now they're 0-3, right?
Yep.
They have Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey pretty much basically running the helm.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just, I mean, yeah, they did put up a fight against the Celtics, but
Sure did.
they still lost. They lost. They're 0-3 now, and so you have to wonder what problems are in Detroit. Is it the way that the front office is being ran? Is it the lack of talent? I don't know. I don't know what to call Detroit right now at this point, but it's looking like they'll become another lottery pick in the draft, even though we're only like 4 games into the season. So
that's so much to say, because they acquired Tobias Harris, and they added a couple of pieces. They're not quite veteran leadership, but it's looking like
it's just more like positions at depth.
Yeah.
Like, how many guards they got on that roster? Like,
let's see.
I'm just.
What is it? Thompson, Ivy, Duran, and Cunningham.
Yes.
Those are the first 4, and then they got like a bunch of guys going back and forth between the two. Just quickly pulling up the depth chart here, just looking at this squad.
Yeah, quickly. I forgot he was there.
Quickly, Sasser, who's now in his second year, who's there. No one to really talk about other than Tim Hardaway's there. Of course, he's a veteran on that team, but he's more like a journeyman than someone who's looking to try to get a specific position, because he got traded out of a Dallas situation where just a year prior he was that dude, and now he's getting a little bit more regular rotation on that. And then of course there's now second year player Asar Thompson, who was seeing a lot of minutes last season, but probably not so much this season, because now you got a healthier Ivy and Cade coming back. So to answer your question, not much overall as far as what's going on with that team. Yeah, I think it's just getting those reps and understanding the game, which is a lot of what happened down the stretch versus the Celtics last night. So yeah, I agree with you. Not so surprising as to what's going on there. Eventually, I think the players got to figure it out. I don't think that there's a coach out there that wants to get into the situation while the front office is figuring out what it wants to do with these players, because there's still some moving pieces. It was that weird trade in the middle of the season last year where they swapped players from Washington.
Yeah.
And no one understood that because it did nothing for either team except kind of unjam their backlog and swap a few dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So don't know what's going on beyond that point. Uh, we'll have to watch them a little bit more as the season goes on. But who's your most surprising team this year?
Most surprising team, I think it would have to belong to the Denver Nuggets, right? My expectations for them was that within these first few games, that they would try to compete, that they would try to be at least at the forefront of the Western Conference, right? Because after they had won their first ring in a while, the expectation was that, not for me, but for some people, most people, that a dynasty was being built, right? And then
Facts.
after I don't know, it's just that after that Lakers series last year, they just kind of fell apart at the seams. And
Facts.
now going into this year, right? They pay Jamal Murray all that money, right? Uh, and now all of a sudden they're sitting at 0-2. Like, I'm not sounding the alarm button just yet,
No.
but if how they play continues and it's looking like they're have like some type of bad record down the stretch, then yeah, we got a serious problem in
No
Denver.
Mhm.
shoot.
But like I said, it's too
Oh,
early
sure.
in the season. I'm not sounding the alarm or anything, but just
Mhm.
seeing Denver, who going into the season, my expectation was that they were going to be one of the top teams in the Western Conference. Seeing them at 0-2, it does kind of raise concern a little bit, but I don't know. I don't. Oh, what do you guys think?
No, I completely agree with you. Um, I think it's more of a shock for those that didn't see the seriousness of the health of Jamal Murray to start out with. The second thing is that um, because of the way that Denver had essentially ran teams into the ground for 4 straight seasons. I want to let you guys know that it's 4 seasons that Denver's been doing this, not 3. It didn't start with their championship season. It actually started the year prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you started to see all the way up until right now. But the problem is that it's where Denver put their money
Mm-hmm. Letting
because
go of KCP was a huge
Yes.
mistake.
Yes.
you saw Brown take off,
Yep.
who ended up getting traded, and now he's over. I think he's in Toronto, which
I think he's in Toronto. Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's crazy how you hustle backwards like that. But whatever. Um, I don't know. I would have smacked the crap out of my agent personally. Like, we good here. Rings, okay? They pay me more money for these than they do my contract. KCP pulled I want to say he had a sort of Trevor Ariza moment. He helped out the Lakers, got the ring. He was like, cool, I'm gone. Dip, went over to Denver. Cool, I got my ring. Money? No. Orlando. Okay. And he's not doing a lot right now over in Orlando because they're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, they got a young core down in Orlando.
System
So yeah,
wise. And
they're
I kind of believe that he might end up getting played out of rotation and he might get traded. Like KCP might get traded
mm,
because the way that team is constructed and the way that they're doing things, they're not really using KCP and he's not doing his sort of Klay Thompson thing at the volume that they expected him to. So you are not off. It is surprising if you haven't honed in specifically on what this team is doing. And understandably so, because Denver gets knocked off by Minnesota, right?
mm-hmm. Last season. Mm-hmm.
Last season. The way that last game was lost was so eye-opening for a team that, for all intents and purposes, if on paper and historically had it ready to go, had this locked in the bag, and then they had the game in hand, and everyone was starting to turn their TVs. I turned away from the game. I turned away. I came back. I said, "What do you mean they lost that lead? These guys don't lose leads like that." And ever since that moment, then we went right into the Olympics, where you had a sort of disheveled, like everyone that was playing in the NBA that was in the playoffs looked like they did not want to be there, like they were doing overtime at work, that they were not asked to do that. And I mean everyone. Giannis, he in a preseason interview, he said that he was honored to be able to represent Greece and get through what he went through, because it was a while since Greece was represented as a basketball team in the Olympics. Wow. He is one of the few happy-go-lucky people. But Luka was tired; he didn't want to be there. Joel Embiid was out of shape.
If I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Joel Embiid was he was figuring out if he wanted to keep eating the eclairs or not.
It was basically a traffic cone, man.
Jokic,
out of the rotations, man.
Jokic said, "Look, I'm gonna go ahead and dominate as the real Olympics MVP. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and dominate real quick. My guys are gonna get together, and then we're gonna go back to the farm, and then we're gonna chill. Okay, and then you had the meme team that just went ahead and tried to torch the entire Olympics, and then not really did that. Everyone was kind of figuring it out, but if you were in the Olympics, you almost were doing overtime for that, and I can understand that. But this Denver team, you looked at them. If you were really looking at them, you would see what was their foundation and the way that they were built, the way that they were put together as a team, because they weren't built to beat anyone. They were built to execute a very specific way, to use that 4 out 1 in type of utilization, to use that give and go, because Jamal Murray was such a great penetrating guard. Pause. His ability to basically shift guys around. You had to put 2 on Jokic, so you had shooters that were coming alive, and then MPJ with his back on again, off again.
Mm-hmm.
The way that this team was constructed, they figured it out, and then pieces started to come apart, and it was at the right spots to break up the ability of this team. Yeah, they're flat. It's early on in the season, but most surprising, and I agree with you thus far. I had, just to throw this out there, as far as a surprising team is concerned, the Orlando Magic.
Mm.
And
like,
it's not
you were
because
most surprised about them?
I was my most surprising team.
Okay.
Because had them up there, got additions, but they're winning. They're winning as the same exact team, slightly improved from last season.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's only 3 games in, but no one is talking about the continued growth of Paolo Banchero.
Yep.
No one is talking about him right now because there's so much to talk about. LeBron James. No one is talking about this kid right now because he's in a division where the most talked about team in that division is the Miami Heat, and he's not the most athletic player. He's not the most exciting player. But Orlando sitting at 2-1 is most surprising because they are winning and they are scoring more effectively. Again, this is a team that barely averaged what was like 101 last season. They were not a great scoring team. They're a pretty good defensive team. Their middle of the road record was not a suggestion. It was an exact replica of where they sat at as far as stat-wise, execution-wise. They were just sitting there. And the question is, when you're sitting at the middle, do you go up or down? What's your direction? And this team is going up. We're going to continue to watch, see where they're at. But we'll see. But that's my most surprising team. I'd like to give you guys my least surprising team. But we're going to have to say that for another show. We got to move on, y'all. We got to move on. Okay. We got to talk about what's coming up this week because, again, we've had this post on the sportsaffiliation.com. If you guys have not subscribed to the website yet, go to the sportsaffiliation.com. Enter in your email address so that way you can get the newsletters of the week. That way you can get our hoops posts which we got coming out Monday through Wednesday. We give you guys power rankings. We tell you guys who the best fantasy players are, who's playing the best basketball right now, giving you guys sports advice, betting advice. You can get it all there. But we put a post up before the season even began. We put it up about a couple months ago, a month and a half ago. And the post is basically telling you guys what exciting games are coming up this week, y'all. We got some games today. It's Sunday. Pacers are playing the Sixers. Bucks are playing today against the Brooklyn Nets, who are still trying to figure it out. And again, I put an asterisk around the first time I saw this when we were breaking down the league. I want to tell you, I want to tell you guys something. We just talked about New Orleans barely beating Portland last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans played Portland last night. If you guys are listening to this, the mic on? Hello, y'all hear me?
The mic is on. Yep. Mm-hmm. We're at attention.
Okay, what do you guys know what a back-to-back is?
Mm-hmm.
You play one team, right? And then you play again the next night.
Yes.
Why are the Pelicans still in Portland? The Pelicans are running it back, and they're playing the Portland Trailblazers again in Portland tonight.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of about 30 games this season, y'all, where a team is playing another team in the same spot 2 nights in a row.
That's got to be one of the easier back-to-backs. Like, you
would
literally
say
ain't
so.
got to move nowhere. You
don't gotta
literally just
move.
stay in the hotel. Like, you get up, do the same routine. You ain't got to get on the plane, no bus.
If the Pelicans lose to this team on a back-to-back, then we've got a serious problem.
Do
Well,
we? I mean,
mm,
we got to watch that game. You guys got to tune into that game because the game one is sort of a, you got a little bit of a filler game. It's a low-scoring game. If both teams still figuring it out, trying to figure out the health. New Orleans Pelicans now without DeJounte Murray for 6 weeks, breaking his hand.
that's the thing for me, though. Like, that's kind of the thing. Like, I understand they won this first game off a back-to-back without DeJounte, but it's like, you playing it again now. Like, is that going to be more of a factor this time around that you are playing them again? Because, like I said, they know how to game plan. They know how to scheme. So it's like there's something else you got to bring up.
Is Zion expected to play tonight? I'm not sure.
Ooh, it's an even better question. Because Portland is the younger team, okay, and they're no slouches. They just have bad luck of being in the West, and then the fact that I almost said Greg Oden. Good God, DeAndre Ayton. Good Lord, me and my old head brain sitting there talking about some Greg Oden. Shout out to him and his knees, man. The Ohio State. So yeah, we got Portland back at it again against New Orleans. Atlanta at OKC. We're gonna go ahead and skip that game because we already know what's gonna happen with that. Clippers versus the Golden State Warriors today to end out today. So some teams are gonna have the opportunity to get their third game in and figure it out, and we're gonna post the power rankings up hopefully tomorrow morning. And that's just to kick off to end the week because everything goes Monday to Sunday in this league. Got some other games coming up this week. If you guys don't watch any games today, you guys need to watch tomorrow because Deontay, who's playing tomorrow?
The Celtics versus the Bucks.
The Celtics versus the Bucks, baby.
Monday night on 7:30 at 7:30.
That's ESPN, right? It's got to be.
That game is it's a locally televised game. What the hell? What the hell? Who got the nationally televised game then?
What?
Nobody. No,
it's
nobody.
Monday.
It's a Monday.
You mean I gotta pull up what NBA TV to go watch this game?
Yeah, you
pretty
do.
much.
You
Why
do.
is this not the nationally televised game? It's the Bucks and the Celtics. What are we doing?
Say, shut up, man. Don't worry about this.
I don't know why it's not national.
Adam Silver.
I really don't.
Adam Silver, get it together.
I think they technically are. I mean, with this home and home or away and away back to back against the same team, we'll see how that affects it. I think the league is doing everything that it can collectively to try to get these players to play as many games as possible. And every time they think of something the players and the NBAPA kind of take them back a step by saying, "Oh, we'll protect you if you decide to not do this." And again, you gotta play. What Kobe say? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yep.
You gotta play, y'all. You gotta play.
play.
You gotta watch. So if you guys don't watch any of the games today and see the effects of these back-to-backs, definitely watch tomorrow. We got some games slated. We didn't get into the bets today. We didn't get into the fantasy stuff today. We're probably going to have to get to that in another segment. We'll probably do that completely separately going forward. We'll see how it is. If there's a very light week, we'll fit it into that show. We fit it in last week. That's because we hadn't realized that Lakers versus Boston might be a real thing.
No, it's always been a thing. It's always been a thing.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and stretch this an extra 5 minutes because I love y'all, the listeners, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, this is the TSA Hoop Show with JR. We got Deontay, we got my boy Rico on, and myself, JR. I'm gonna give you guys this real quick. Deontay, you alluded to this a little bit earlier in the show. In-season tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Two things, real quick. Have you seen the new floors for the in-season tournament?
I seen my team's floor. Yes. And, honestly, no. Honestly, it looks pretty good. I don't have any complaints about it. So
I agree. I think Way went back. They saw the feedback. They saw that people could not see the game when teams were playing, because it was one thing for teams to be playing in their alternate uniforms for these games. But when you had the alternate uniforms of teams like OKC, teams like Portland, that had those extreme reds and blues, and you had put that on the court as well, it just didn't go well. So if you guys see those now, we have reposted them. You can also see those. It's posted up at NBA.com and also of our various accounts across X. Yes. This is regular. It's regular green court. That's clean.
That's solid.
Mm-hmm. That's clean. And you can use it as a green screen to show which teams are 3-0 right now.
Can I just say something about the courts real quick?
No.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing. You put all this stuff for the in-season tournament, of course, all those stuff, the pageants are cool. Can we please get back to doing something like this for the finals? Is that too much to ask? Like, literally back in the day, you had the finals trophy on center court. You had I'm not asking for a lot. Give me the damn finals trophy in the middle of at center court. Like,
exactly.
I need that. Give me something. I understand you want to do something. You get more people into the game and stuff like that. Bring that back. That's all I ask. That's all. Like, as a fan, that's all I'm asking for. I don't care. I'm not gonna say I don't care who's in the finals, but I care about the aesthetic and how it looks.
The Celtics
like that back would be great to see. That's all I'm asking. You doing all the stuff for the NCAA tournament? I get it. That's cool. That's wonderful. Do something like this for something that's gonna matter at the end of the season.
100%.
That's my 2 cents on that. But
now there are some teams out there that are now saying, now getting a little bit of FOMO because of how they saw how the great feeling of winning the in-season tournament. How do y'all feel about the in-season tournament now?
Personally, it's like I said, you're getting the fans something more to kind of at least tune into. It's a different aspect of just another regular season game that's actually going towards something else. But I honestly didn't have that much of a problem with it. I don't like how people were saying, "Oh, if you win the in-season tournament, you should get an automatic bid in the playoffs." Like, I'm not a fan of that. But like, it's like you trying to put a little bit more on it. Like, that's let's just pump the brakes.
Yeah, no automatic nothings. No automatic.
But, like, just giving the fans something more to watch. Extra games, like the stuff. I think it's like the Final Four, something like that. Like, it's in Vegas as opposed to like being on another team's home court. It's a neutral site, stuff like that. So I mean, I liked it. It was good for the first year. It was good. Obviously, Adam's looking to improve on it year to year, but giving the fans something more to look at, giving the players something more to look forward to, a little bit more extra money in their pocket. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that.
I like that. D.
I mean, I think my sentiments on the in-season tournament are still the same as what I thought last season. You know, it's kind of meh because I'm still trying to learn all that I can about this in-season tournament and what it does for the players, right?
Money.
Um, I understand that the basketball season is a relatively long season, 82 games plus we got the playoffs and then the finals, and you're trying to make it more entertaining for the people, right? I understand trying to draw people in with this in-season tournament. I do understand that, but why can't we emphasize more of that in the All Star game more than so creating an all new type of version of that on here when it
Mm,
comes to the in-season tournament?
About the All Star.
Use the same thing that you did for the in-season tournament and put it in the All-Star game because
mm.
the All-Star game hasn't been good in years.
Well,
Okay, it's
hold on,
been
hold on.
mm,
I think it was like the year after Kobe passed, God rest his soul. Like that
Mm.
whole Elam scoring thing they had. Like
The Elam ending.
that
yeah.
that I would love for them to bring that back. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like that was dope. It like you saw the intensity of like that last bucket. I know I think the year that happened, AD wanted on like a free throw or something like that. Fans weren't
Yeah,
okay with that.
yeah.
But like bringing something like that back to an All-Star game, I'm like, shoot. You know, some people thinking about, oh, why don't you get like a U.S. versus international type thing for the All-Star game? Like,
Mm.
I don't know. There's so many different things that people are trying to look at to kind of spice it up. But
Or try to implement the old All-Star game where if one side wins, then you get I don't know, say a playoff advantage or home court advantage, like what
Which
they
would
did
be
back in the day.
it would be nice, but we were just talking about that with baseball. They did away with that. Winner of the All-Star game gets a home field advantage. They took that away. So,
that made no sense to
it-
me, to be
so
honest.
but I mean, you know what? I've talked about it at length. I got I got receipts. Um, it's good so far. I don't think it was good that the Lakers were the first ones to do it in a sham of a season, in a special ham season. That's sham. If y'all not following along, I got bars. I got bars. Um, for the Lakers. But it looks good so far to be kind of good to kind of note it. If it turns into what the WNBA equivalent is, which is the Commissioner's Cup, where the two best players play each other the two best players, the two best teams at the time play each other in the league. Um, the best part about if it turns into something like that is that it would give us an early on look at who are the better playing teams in the league at that time. Because if like the WNBA were the two best teams who ended up playing for the Commissioner's Cup ended up in the finals, then
Hmm.
we would have a better idea about that as well. But that's looking way down the line. But we got to look at right now. Just real quick before we get out of here. Deontay, you got the floor, sir. You go ahead and tell them.
All right. So the good people can find me on Twitter. As you can see, my handle is right next to my name right here. I'm doing a whole lot of sports, mostly football and basketball. But now that my football team is, kind of in the dumps right now, I'll be more in tune with basketball. Well, with the Celtics mostly. So, yep, that's where the good people can find me at. So hey, it's a pleasure to be here. So,
Enrico, what's good?
Yeah. First of all, good to be back on here, man. Like I said, I ain't been on a basketball talk show in a minute, so it felt good to talk ball with my boys again. Obviously, you can find me on. I'm gonna say Twitter. It's hard for me to say X, like it's Twitter, but I'm not gonna say that right now. Rico Modern World without the S down there. Like I said, I saw hoops. I talk ball. One of the biggest things I would just say right now is like basketball season this year, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's a great time. Football's in full swing. Um, you also got the World Series going on as well. Lord have mercy, that game one was stupid crazy. If you didn't watch it, you missed out on a classic. Um, but also just from a hoop standpoint, I don't know why, but I'm fiending a Lakers Celtics finals again because
Uh,
Listen. Last time we had the
Lakers
2010.
don't get in their own way
It's
first.
14 years.
Disgusting.
14 years too long. Like at this point in time, with the teams playing like they are right now at this current moment, I understand it's a long season, but heaven forbid if it happens. I understand the Celtics got number 18 right now. I don't really care about that.
Well,
But
you should.
for us, hear me out. If that were to happen and the Celtics in the final and the Lakers meet up in the finals and we beat the Celtics to get number 18 again, I'm not gonna lie to you, that would be one of the sweetest things ever.
That's a big
No,
if.
no,
That's a big
no,
if.
no. And that's why this is the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen, because we will be talking for an hour about that. Outside of Rico, outside of Rico's horrible idea to try to get LeBron out of the league, because we know darn well that would not be great. We would never get out of here, which we got to get out of here right now. I appreciate y'all coming on. It's your boy JR. If you had any trouble finding us on X, again, the handle is at 4FAPO That's at 4F Apollo for my handle. You can also follow the sports affiliation at the Sports Affili. You can just follow the hashtag TSA Hoops, hashtag TSA fan with the lightning bolt. You click on that, you get all of us and any of us. Anything that we have tweeted out, we get the information to you. We didn't get any betting information out. Don't worry, we'll get the tickets up. You just follow us, we'll get that out for you. You make sure that you hit that like button. You make sure you hit that subscribe button. So that way you can go and run this back. And if you got it on your phone, hit that Spotify app, find the Sports Affiliation Hoop Show with your boy JR. Appreciate you guys coming out today, man. We will do it again. Same bad time, same bad channel. And maybe your team can be talked about being up here too, being 3-0. We out, y'all. Peace.
Peace out.